Hey, what the hell's going on, you guys? It is Tuple playing NegativeAE, and welcome back to Valhalla. Last we left off, the audio didn't work, but now we're here at the break. The audio works, so that's good. So this is live again. I don't want to change any of these songs, so let's go. Alright then. Dots. Gil, you're in my spot. Please. Oh, sorry. Also, you're cleaning one of Boss's chicken buckets? Did Boss ask you to do that? If I told you she did, would you believe me? Without a doubt. Let's go with that then. Right. I'm also confused. Greetings. Stella, what can I get you? I'll go with Bleeding Jane today. Bleeding Jane for Stella. What's happening, Stella? How are you today? Very all blended. I've had a Bloody Mary before. I don't know if I like it very much. You know what I'm saying? Like it's very weird. Thank you. What brought you here today? Waiting for Say? I came by myself actually. I was in the area and stopped by to say hi. Oh. It's pretty interesting though. When I first saw you, I doubted you'd ever come here again. Well, this place is comfortable, I must admit. So quiet and secluded. It's also clean. Really clean. Gil is the one you can owe that to. Guy takes pride in how clean he keeps things around here. If you ever need cleaning staff, he's a nice pick. Really? He's a bit out of it today, though. I see. Hey, Jill, have you heard of the new gold rush in the city? Gold rush? Everyone is paying small fortunes to get their hands on pieces of white knight suits. I think I heard or read something about that. I'm having doubts, so probably not. In any case, how is it a gold rush? Well, the tech behind the suits was always safely guarded, but after the events at the bank, the suits were remotely shut down, bricking many of them in the process. Many units dropped their armor right there and fled when the lynchings went on. Any white knight still stuck in their suit had to take the armor off manually to run away. It all happened in the middle of the lynchings, so they'd be sitting ducks if they didn't. Some weren't lucky. They got beaten up while they weren't able to move. So between the suits becoming glorified paperweights and many white knights going on the run, there ended up being a lot of junk lying around. But the whole scientific community is rejoicing. They're on a race to reverse engineer the suits to take as much technology as possible from them. And of course, even single pieces of armor fetch a high price these days. Could anyone see any profit from that research just to justify this expense? That sentence was just so hard for me to read. Much like most sentences in the English language. It's a new tech, a whole new field ripe with patents just opened for many, so I'd say yes. Huh. I mean, the BTC is literally a conglomerate built on patents and trademarks. I can see how. There is one weird case though. There's this guy named Jack. He's the captain of a very unique Blitzkrieg Corps unit. Unique? The guy has a really small unit, 5 people including himself. The aesthetics of his unit's armor was heavily modded to the point where they looked like a squad of Henshin heroes? And what? They look really gaudy. But it turned out that the guy actually broke through the software and disabled the remote switch. He is one of the few, if not the only suits of armor with the OS intact. To say they're among the most wanted people would be an understatement. You know a lot about this. It's interesting, the amount of things you hear when dealing with drunk people of all kinds in the same place. It also helps to put on a front that makes people lower their guard. That should sound familiar to you. True. Wait. Here's a freebie. A fun fact. The failsafe was originally going to involve armor blowing up and leaving no traces. But regulations and laws didn't allow that kind of technology near civilians. I guess even Zaibatsu Corps has its limits, huh? People love to demonize Zaibatsu Corps because, let's face it, they're far from innocent. But they're not evil overlords, they're just greedy. They're just a big corporation. They just so happen to have control over what tantamounts to a city-state. But corporations will naturally resort to draconian methods. I've heard horror stories from people outside the city trying to use product placement. If you so much as hold a bottle the wrong way or get in the way of a logo, you'll be in for lots of trouble. Let's not start with theme parks or the like. Those are dystopias of their own. Then again, most of the demonization is due to Quincy being such a clown. He has no power anyways. He's just the front that whatever council behind Zaibatsu Corps chose. He makes a fool out of himself, and the attention is taken away from whatever it is the Zaibatsu Corps is actually doing. Jesus Christ. So what you were saying is that Glitch City is basically a huge theme park. I've called the White Knights glorified mall security in the past, so yeah. No, seriously. Hen, what? Can I get a Brantini here, please? Sure. Henshin. I'm struggling, guys, with whatever they were talking about. So basically, there's a gold rush going on, and people want them, but then there's this guy who has a fully powered White Knight suit, which isn't a thing because they all got shut down. So that's a thing. And then also, this is like a theme park, so it's like, and she said something about it's interesting that you would, oh my goodness, she said that it's interesting that what you hear when people are drunk and stuff. And it's like, well, wait a second, what does she do even? She's like rich, right? I don't know what she does. So I take it you're in a good mood today. Does it show? A bit. Yeah, well, I managed to nab a couple of tickets for the Kira Mickey concert, or encore concert. Nice. Alright, as it turns out, she was just here. Again? Sorry. Again? Can't believe I just missed her. I was surprised too. I was more surprised she remembered my name though. And like last time, she was quite the graceful client. And so those rumors about her being really nice in person were actually true. Amazing. I mean, you always want the famous people to be nice in real life. But having such backing to that claim, to hear she's so nice to everyone, it's nice to hear, you know? In fact, many think that's what made her so famous so quickly. She's down to earth and totally accessible, making her someone everyone wants to root for. I see. Yeah, I mean, I guess you don't want to feel like you're supporting crappy people. Although, to be honest, I never put much thought into that one. Half the time I have no idea who made what I use, nor do I care so much. Being a nice person will take you far, though. My daddy always insisted that being ruthless in the boardroom doesn't mean being an ass. And he actually managed to get certain contracts over the more powerful people. All thanks to being a nice guy overall. Sounds like good advice. But more importantly, Daddy? Do you really believe me saying she was just here that easily? You're not the kind to lie about stuff like that, so sure. Thanks, I guess. That said, can you go to the concert so easily? What about the security and the like? My dad always has a unit keeping an eye on me from a distance. And you'd be surprised at how easily I can disguise myself with just a different hairdo and cap. I see. I wonder if I could get in the disabled line with Say and her wounds. Is she human with a robotic eye and the ears? Or is she a robot? I can't remember if they've said that, because she's a Lilum, right? You're a Lilum. I can't remember if they've said she's outright that she's a Lilum. I think they have. Because it's always just been my assumption that yes, she's a Lilum. But it just was going, I don't know. Although she's probably nagging me about how she doesn't need it and we shouldn't abuse that. Hey, can you give me a classic drink? Sure. She wants something classic. A beer. Because she's already had a Bleeding Jane. I could care less about giving her another Bleeding Jane. Here. Thank you. Do you have many servants around the house, Stella? I do, but they've been with us for so long, they're pretty much family. My dad always said that if you earn someone's trust, they'll gleefully work for you, and everyone wins. We even had a young gardener that left to study engineering, and he actually came back. He still comes by every weekend to tend to the plants. Man, that sounds nice. Let me know if you're ever in need of a job. I might find you something. Thanks for the offer. Wait. I just realized something's off with the whole tech gold rush story. What would it be? Wouldn't all that tech be patented anyways? I get trying to crack it in the first place, but it would be true if the tech was patented in the first place. It isn't? The Ibatsu have been so paranoid about making the White Knights untouchable that they never patented anything. That doesn't... A patent would be in a database that someone could hack and retrieve valuable info from. Oh, I see what they're saying. Because they didn't want to let the weaknesses of the suit through, they didn't patent it because patents would reveal what the suit was made out of and what happens. And okay, I get it. I get it, kind of. Let alone how it immobilized everyone still inside of the suits. So the ones that were upholding the law did so using suits that are all by all means illegal. The irony runs deep, wouldn't you say? Why do it though? When you have so much money, you start thinking you can screw around with the rules. All that power makes you think you're above every law there is. And the city is what happens when those with money start making the rules. I'm curious though, have you ever covered up any fuck-ups by using money? I think we've all done things we're not too proud of at some point in our lives. Well, Jill, I gotta go. Always a pleasure. Please come again. Alma. No hello? You're pretty insistent on that one, aren't you? It's basic courtesy. Something I will fight to uphold. First, the greeting stop. Then, please and thank you stops. And before you know it, boom, total anarchy. You're exaggerating. I am not. In fact, I'll go through that door again and I'll expect you to greet me properly this time. Fine. Hello, Jill. Once upon a midnight jury while I pondered weak and weary. Over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore. While I nodded, nearly napping, suddenly, there came a tapping. As someone gently rapping at my chamber door. "'Tis some visitor," I muttered, tapping at my chamber door. "Only this and nothing more." "You overdid it. You totally overdid it." Quoth the bartender. I did not. "So you like poetry?" I had a phase. Could I get you something? Let's start with the big cobalt velvet. Sure. C with the cobalt velvet. 1, 2. Shit. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. All on the rocks. And big cobalt velvet. Here. Thanks. Oh yeah, there's something I've been wondering about for a while. Does the name Shadow Master 69's Chronicles ring any bells? No. Wow, you went pale. No, the name doesn't ring any bells. May 22nd. Today my daily card readings told me that I'd meet great change thanks to an old man. My biology teacher told me I had... Oh, that's her. Told me I had been picked for an inter-school contest with my latest essay. I just knew a scientific theory on the idea of auras was revolutionary as I thought. Soon I'll bring the world into occult science singularity. Later entries don't seem to have gone that well though. Mentions of being laughed at, being lectured on why the essay was wrong. Still, I made sure to delete that blog. There should be no evidence left. I can think of at least 6 different sources off the top of my head that had all that stuff archived. Why? Why? Sheesh, relax, it's not that bad. What do you mean it's not that bad? Don't you realize how embarrassing it all was? I've been young, Jill, relax. It's not like you're still like that nowadays. That would be embarrassing. You're not still like that, right? Gods no, I gave up on the whole occult stuff. It's just remembering all that stuff is... Ugh. I don't know. I like the way you looked. All dressed in black with the rare accessory popping out thanks to the colors. I mean, you at least had the decency to use makeup and take care of yourself. So you have a pick. Oh god, you have a fucking pick. Why do you do this to me? Why do you dig the sins out of my past? I was bored. Last Friday I had to take my mind off the whole Diana thing, so I ran a small background check on you. Simple stuff, just checking past internet activity. Please don't run background checks like that. I just used a search engine, you know? I didn't request documents or anything. What led you to the page? You do realize your main mail account everywhere is still the one you used back then, right? Like I said, relax. You were obsessed with occultism. I wanted to kiss all the boys. And I kinda almost accomplished that in middle school, which still sort of haunts me today. Never underestimate the lengths an old classmate will go to track you down. Especially if they think you're still the girl that kissed them for fun and they're lonely to boot. We all have things we're not too proud of as adults. Now I know how criminals feel when evidence is used against them. I have to ask though, why the 69? It was supposed to be 6'9", not 69, like in reference to both Lovers and the Hermit. I was convinced that it meant wise choices. Jill, there's nobody that would read that as 6'9". It was 12 at the time. Even at 12, I fucking knew what 69 was. Just how innocent were you back then? There were some innocent-ass people in high school. And at least over where I lived. Let's speed things up, I'll have a sugar rush. At least where I lived, there was like a bunch of... There's also a lot of like people that were like terrible and did everything under the sun. Which is like most of the people that I knew. Fuck, why did I do that? I added 2 of the... Caromatine? I messed up a sugar rush. Stupid. Here. This is the thing. Say, Alma, speaking of the past, what was your last long-term relationship like? That's sudden. You dug through my past. I've earned the right to dig through yours. Fine, fine. Long-lasting relationships, huh? Romantic ones, I'm guessing. Yep. Well, I've had about 4 boyfriends who I'd describe as much, that I've introduced to my family and all. The first one was in high school. I broke up with him because he cheated on me. I remember the other girl trying to pick a fight, and me just saying, keep the fucker. The second one was during my freshman year. Isn't that still... Oh, freshman year college. I broke up with him after he thought it'd be funny to punch me in the arm. He starts with a friendly hit, and before you know it... Anyways. The other guy I met shortly after I dropped out. He was interesting in marriage, but he wanted to get married after only half a year or so of knowing him. And then there's Richard. Who? Spent almost 4 years with him. We got along pretty well, we had awesome chemistry. I truly loved him. But as time went by, there was a rift that started separating us. He just didn't like my family. He didn't? Moreover, he wasn't a family person. He distanced himself from his own and voiced that he didn't want kids. There was a part of me that wanted to believe, if even for just a little bit, that he changed his mind. But as much as I loved him, that one detail brought a growing gap between us. And at one point, I just had to break up with him. But I'm not here to depress you. Bring me a beer, will you? Let's get her a beer. This song is awesome, by the way. It's very, like, soft song. Because it fits, like, any situation. It fits this one, it fits anything. Thanks for telling me that, by the way. Don't mention it. Okay. One more question and we're even. Oh. You really are embarrassed of that blog, huh? Sure, ask away. At what age did you get those implants in your boobs? Jill. I love you, and I know you're just saying that in jest. But I've lived through so many rumors about me getting plastic surgery that I can't and won't take it as a joke. As such, in honoring our friendship, I'll just say this. They're real, and they're spectacular. Now ask the real question before I slap you. I'll grant you one and only one chance to call me by my full name as compensation then. I'd gladly take your offer. It's funny that you mentioned slapping because my real question was, why did you get your hands chopped? Chopped. Well, there's a couple of reasons. The first is that I spent lots of time typing, and the replacements helped me avoid carpal tunnel syndrome. Oh. There's other utilities, like how I can interface with many devices. For example, there's a tiny computer embedded in my glasses. If I move my index finger, it acts like the computer's cursor. And there's lots more, but there are small things that don't sound impressive when I say it out loud. How did your family take the operation? They took it well enough, except for my mom. She freaked out for months. She even went to the hospital to ask for my hands. Don't you miss them? Sometimes, but just during emotional moments. But as luck would have it, someone else has them. Shortly before my operation, there was an accident on the highway. One of the victims was this young lady whose right hand got completely crushed. Goodness, this song, dude. I told them to check if we were compatible and all that. I mean, implants are not everyone's first choice if they can get a natural replacement. It just makes everything better. A bit of cosmetic treatment and it would pass off as her original hand with no problem. Last I heard, we were compatible and the family agreed to the donation. I don't know what became of her, but I hope she's fine. And you didn't tell your mom about that? Didn't want her pestering the poor girl. So are we cool now? Are we even now? Are we? You were pretty pissed about my comment regarding your boobs. Again, I'm sorry. It sounded a lot less rude in my head. Yeah, don't worry about that. Besides, I get to call you Julianne once. How you don't? Eh? Why? You just called me by my full name. Are you serious? One chance and only one chance, and you just used it up. Damn it. Hello. Wait a second. Julianne? Anna? There's no way. There's no way that she's a part of me. Wouldn't that be a crazy twist? Like, oh, here's my other half. Hey, Alma, this might be a weird tangent, but do you believe in ghosts? Hey. Not particularly, no. Although there was this paper that I read once that was quite interesting. It proposed a scenario where nanomachine clusters would leave the body after death, and then acted as a collective hive mind through residual brainwaves. The result would basically be an image not unlike a hologram. Of course, the hypothesis fell through because such nanomachine density was impossible in a body. Even 5% of the amount needed is enough to make the blood too dense for the heart. And it's not like brainwaves are potent enough to create these reactions. Still, an interesting read though. You see. Don't give me that look. It's not my fault you convinced yourself that you're crazy. Well, I'll leave then. See you tomorrow. See ya. All done? I am. What about you, Gil? For some reason, the idle girl left him like that, it seems. You think? It might have been while he was out. True. Hey, boss, you're a fan of wrestling, aren't you? I mean, you were a wrestler, so... That I am? Yeah, why? I was wondering, isn't wrestling fake? Aren't twin tails for little girls and teens with 8th grade syndrome? 8th grade what? When you get down to it, wrestling is as real as a soap opera. I mean, you don't really expect a legal lawsuit to be fixed in a ring, do you? Right? Sure, and in my ideal world, you would solve legal problems through good old wrestling, but... No, seriously, 8th grade what? You don't go around calling soap operas fake. It's a show. It just so happens to use fights as an expression. You might as well see it as a unique form of theater. Besides, considering the injuries and many wrestlers suffer, it's not all fake. I didn't think about it that way. Sadly, I won't stand for anyone bad-mouthing wrestling. So now that I have to go and break Gil's back to... So now I have to go and break Gil's back to make you humble. Come here, fuckboy. What the fuck? Fuckboy! Ah! 8th grade what? 0 mistakes! That was good shit, dude. Fuck, what does that mean? I couldn't pay my rent, this will distract her at work? What does that mean to me? Fuck, man, I guess we're gonna go and be distracted. I guess we have to discuss a renewal. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed today's episode, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. I guess we couldn't pay our rent. I don't know what that means for me, what being distracted means. I don't know. I guess we're going to find out in the next episode. I appreciate you guys watching. Yeah, anyway. Thank you guys. I will talk to you guys later. Peace.